I graduated in 1992, so I started in '89, and when I was there, I was the only Black female in my class, and there was two other guys. So other classes had more as the years went on. But I really appreciated how Dr. Sid Williams reached out to the Black community. He started a basketball team, and he went out to the Black community to recruit basketball players, but he wanted them to be chiropractors or to get an undergrad degree in the sciences, which he started. So I felt that Dr. Sid Williams really, really reached out to the Black community, and we also did in the Atlanta area. The challenges were minimal during my period, but the teachers and the doctors from before me told of different stories. Dr. Bobby Westbrook, who was the founder of the ABCA, he had many stories. Dr. Romanuel Washington from Texas, they went to what were called Jim Crow chiropractic schools. They were all Black schools just for Black chiropractors. So, and Dr. Washington spoke of the prejudice he received in Texas. They didn't want to recognize him. He just recently passed, I think it was this year. I think he was like 96 or something. He was an outstanding doctor, but their stories are the ones that let me know that the problems that were there in the past with Black chiropractors. Dr. Ackles in Indianapolis, he had a lot of problems, and he would talk about them. And so we learned from them, what to look out for and stuff like that. When I first started, I went to a lot of church health fairs, community health fairs. I talked to students. I worked with Michael Harris. He is, I think, a recruiter for life. And he used to come to my university, Howard University, to talk to students. And frequently I would meet him there to give my story. And then they realized I was in Washington, D.C. So it was very good to help him with the recruiting of students. And, the ABCA conventions, I always try to go there as much as possible to talk to the students, encourage them, tell them my story, how I got started, how I was doing, and mistakes I made and what not to do, and this type of thing. So, that's the way to do it. But to go out to events and don't just sit in your office waiting for people to come. Go out to churches and speak. If you can't find a health fair, go to a church and say, would you like to do a health fair? Invite other practitioners and then and speak your piece about chiropractic, spread the story. I was on radio stations. I had radio shows. I had some offside TV shows, and now you can do, all these things on the internet. So use the media. Now people use Instagram and all of that stuff where they see you, and then that's very important. And they see you and they see what you do and they accept you, not based on your color, but on your skills and your knowledge. At Life, when I was a student, I was the president of the ABCA and shared this story about, the past. Harvey Lillard, who was supposedly a Black person that got adjusted by BJ Palmer, and he had hearing loss, and after adjustment he became better able to heal. So I was president of that, and then after I graduated, I stayed with the ABCA as much as I could. There was a lag period when I was having babies that I couldn't fly out a lot, but I went to the convention this year, so that was great. And it was in Florida. Talking to the students was awesome. There was a lot of students there, more than I've ever seen. So I was amazed at how it's grown, over the years. The amount of students that we would only have like 10 or 15 students at the convention, but in Florida, I couldn't even count how many students were there from all over the country. So it was amazing to see the growth there. So I really had a wonderful experience at Life. Other than that one teacher who was a little prejudiced, I really had no bad experiences racially. Maybe one student, something weird, but nothing that I could really, that impacted me traumatically. So I was very grateful to be in that warm and loving environment of Life. And, some schools you go to, regular colleges, get a worse experience. But I think chiropractors are genuinely loving, more so than regular people, in my experience. So, they reach out more. They're not, everybody's focused on their work. They weren't focusing on hating anybody or, not generally, at least not outwardly, you know what I mean? So it was a great experience overall.